200, 600. All right, guys, so today we're gonna be talking about some red dots. $200 CV LIFE versus $600 Aimpoint ACRO. Let's get into it. First things first, empty gun, good. All right, another round. All right, all good. All right, so everything's clean and empty. So let's talk about the CV LIFE. It is the MC18 on their indicator. It's a closed emitter red dot with the mailbox style that everyone's super hot about right now. So let's get into it. First things first, it mounts with an RMR plate. Show it to you. RMR plate right here that comes with it. So it bolts up to regular RMR and then you just connect it with that. Where your ACRO right here has a custom plate you need. This one came from Glock this way, so I don't have to mess with it, but I believe there is an ACRO plate you gotta buy. All right, next things, let's talk about batteries. The battery on the CV LIFE is a CR 1632. 1632. It's augmented by, or supported by, the solar panel. The solar panel keeps it charged, but does not change your reticle illumination. So it's not auto dimming and all that good stuff. But it is solar, which is kind of cool. ACRO comes with a 2032, and the 2032 just goes right there. I think they have some cool aftermarket support for one of those. I need one because this plastic one of mine is all messed up. Let's talk about the windage and elevation knobs. That's right here. So we've got a regular screwdriver for windage and elevation here on the CV LIFE. And on the ACRO, you have either their T-dot adjustment or there's a torque screw there in the middle that you can adjust. I think it looks better, but I always forget to bring stuff, so you gotta have their special tool with you. On the next thing we'll talk about, let's talk about the front lens. So the front lens on the CV LIFE, let's see if I can show you here, it's hard to tell, there's a lip right here. This lip is kind of convex back a little bit, and then what happens is the brass kind of catches up in there. So I'll show you a video of that. It did not launch it back into the chamber. I didn't have any like failures because of it, but it is definitely something to look at. Where on the ACRO, you've got a perfectly straight face, but it is tipped back in there just like that, but it's got like this nice clean face right there that you can, it tends to not bounce the brass back. All right, so since we're talking about that, let's talk about the reticles. So the reticles are kind of where I think the CV LIFE stands out. It has two reticles. It's got the regular dot, and then it's got a dot with a circle, kind of like a donut of death, like an EOTech. Let's see if I can show you here. So right now we are showing you the dot, and then if I hold this button right here, you've got the dot and the circle. You can see it right there. It's a little, I'm not sure if it's gonna focus. If not, I'll put some pictures. But I think that's huge because it helps new shooters find the dot faster, right? The ACRO has a single 3.5 MOA dot. It is clean. It is no bleeding, anything like that, which I love, but it is harder to find. So let's see if I can show you here what it looks like. There it is. It's pretty bright right there. I'm not sure what setting it's on, but let's talk about, since we're talking about dots, let's talk next about the presentation. So they're both identical when it comes to the presentation when you draw the gun, because they all have this heavy black outline and then you just find the dot into the thing, so it draws your eyes to it. The CV LIFE does take the cake there for new shooters for me because of how big the reticle is. It grabs your attention and draws you to it faster. That could be a plus or minus for you. That's really kind of up to you, but for me, I do like that. I don't love that the dot when it is standalone is a little bit mushy or a little bit blown out, so I would have to give the single dot to the ACRO. The big kind of like 1,000-pound gorilla in the room is the price, and then that, what is that price? What are you giving away, right? So the price for me at $200 compared to $600, the $400 is, you're buying peace of mind, right? You're buying proven, you're buying military contracts, testing, and all this stuff. It's all been done here, right? So I can sleep at night knowing that this is right next to my bed, that it's gonna work when I pick it up. I'm not saying this isn't gonna work, but I'm also saying that it hasn't been tested to the level of the ACRO. So in certain cases, I think this is the right option for people. If you're gonna get into firearms and you're gonna start learning or you're gonna start competing and you want this style of setup, the $400 difference can be the difference between having a gun that is quote unquote competitive or having just a bare gun that is a gun with a red dot. I have $790 in this pistol the way it sits. CV LIFE, I've got a Harrington Arms comp, I've got I think it's a Combat Armory barrel, a Harbor Freight light, and eventually I'll have a Magpul Clock 17 style grip. But for 790 bucks, I am competitive in the new shooter realm of competition, right? Like I'm not comparing myself to the masters, the grandmasters, all that stuff, to the guys that are out there on the weekend having fun. You're competitive for 790 bucks. For $790, you get the Glock. You can't even get this red dot. So that's the hang up, right? So this is a $2,000 setup. We're talking Radian ramjet with the barrel. We're talking a $600 optic, a $150 light. We're talking $60 trigger, and additionally a $700 pistol. So if we are, actually don't check that math. I don't know if it's right. I just made those numbers up, but I think it's pretty close. If it's the difference between you getting out there and shooting and hanging out with your buddies and making new friends and getting more comfortable in the shooting world, buy what you can afford. Get into a gun that's comfortable, that's usable, and you're gonna have fun and you're gonna get better. This doesn't have to be your forever optic, but if it gets you in the door and it's something that you love and you want to start pursuing that, you can save this for other projects. You can resell it if you have to, but it gets you in the door. And I think that's what people are missing. People will go and they'll buy a gun and then they really wanted to red dot, but they couldn't afford it. So now they're shooting iron sights and they're not good and they lose that drive or that excitement to do it. And then they put it away and they never use it. If that's what's stopping you, then buy the introductory product, get good with it, and then figure it out from there. Kind of like a rant, sorry guys. I do think we need to protect our new shooters. I think we need to stop gear shaming people on Instagram and calling them poors. I get it, I have a fancy one, but I see the market for this, and I hope that people take the chance with these newer dots. Vortex, Holosun, those guys all started somewhere, and everybody thought that was the poor people brand then, and look at them now. Every single time that they come out with something new, it's on every single pistol. So, long story short, I like the CV LIFE for what it is. I think you guys know where I stand on it. Would you guys buy one? And if so, what are you gonna do with that extra $400? Like, what are you buying for your setup? Because I think I have some ideas, but I wanna see what you guys think down in the comments. I think we're gonna be doing a whole review series or at least a video on this pistol once it's done because I really, really like it. But besides that, that's all I got today, guys. Thanks for checking it out and like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and help us grow this.